Without having a pin description, Pinterest won't know what your pin is about. But how do you go about writing an effective pin description? There's actually more to it than you might think. To have an effective Pinterest marketing strategy, you don't just want to be writing any pin description. You want to make sure you write one that is SEO keyword research and is going to help you rank in search. And there are a few important elements that you don't want to miss. So the first thing that I want to talk about is why is it important to write a pin description? Do people even read them? What is the point of them? And one of the reasons is because pin descriptions will help you rank your pin in search. And that's something that you want to strive for. This means if you or someone looks something up, your pin is going to be what shows up. And the higher in search your pin ranks, the better chance you have for somebody to click on them. I have a ton of pins like this that are bringing me a bunch of traffic every single day. If you missed my last Pinterest video, I showed off my stats to my Pinterest account that I haven't pinned on in a very long time. And spoiler alert, the stats on my account have not drastically changed because of all of the ranking pins that I have circulating the platform. And if you want to check that video out, I'll link it up here. This is one of the major benefits of focusing on Pinterest SEO and writing good pin descriptions. Pin descriptions also tell Pinterest where to place your pins on the feed, because Pinterest doesn't know what your pin is about without that description. Now, Pinterest has come out and said that they can detect some elements of your pin based off of just the photo, but for them to get a really clear picture of what your Pinterest pin and your blog post is about, you need to write a pin description with keywords to let them know. In my opinion, writing a description is less about the individual readers and users of Pinterest and more about telling Pinterest what your pin is about so it knows where to rank it on the feed. You want your target audience to get served up your pin. And Pinterest is a lot like Google in the way that it is a search engine, not a social media site, so it uses those keywords to curate people's homepages, meaning if someone decides to look up a bunch of blogging pins, they are going to get a bunch of similar blogging pins on their page. And if you have a pin about blogging with keywords in the description, you have a better chance of showing up on the homepage of those people. So Pinterest is not all about search. Even though that is a huge part of it, you still want to use those keywords in order to get shown on people's feed. So we obviously know that we want keywords in our pin descriptions, but how do you go about finding those keywords? Because the point here isn't to just fill up your description with what you think people are searching up. You want to make sure that the keywords in your description are things people are actually searching up. A keyword that doesn't get any searches isn't any good. If you rank number 1, but there is no searches, you're still going to get 0 clicks. And you can find keywords that people are looking for just by doing a little bit of testing. Let's say we are looking up personal development. You can see there's a few people here that show up. You can pretty much just ignore them because we are looking at these keywords here. So we have personal development plan template, plan example, just regular plan, goals, logos, activities for kids. So these are all okay search terms, and the reason that these are showing up is because these are the most common things that people are searching up, meaning that they'd be a good keyword to try and rank for. However, these are so vague that it's kind of hard to determine what somebody is going to be looking up when they use these keywords. I would say personal development goals would probably be the best keyword to try to rank for in this scenario, because you can tell the intent of the reader when they are searching up personal development goals. They're looking for goals. But we can go a little bit deeper into this. If we look up just personal development in general, we can see that there's a bunch of keywords up here on top that we can also use to refine our search. And this is called a long tail keyword, which is something that you really want to go for, because if you were looking at personal development, there are so many different topics that you could write about based off of personal development. But if you hone in your search, you can kind of define what the reader is specifically looking for. So we can do personal development tips for women. Now we're narrowing it down a little bit more. Now we know we're specifically talking to women. Or we can do personal development self-improvement tips. So now we know a little bit more about what people are searching up. And you can do this for any term that you want. You can get as many keywords as you want and try to find the most relevant ones for your blog post. But once you find these keywords, where should you put them? Because there's more than one place you should be using them. You can put them in the Pinterest title, in the Pinterest graphic, in the Pinterest description, the name of the Pinterest board that you are going to be pinning to. You can put it in the description of the Pinterest board that you're pinning to, and you can put it in the first paragraph or throughout your blog post. Yes, all of these places actually matter. Now, that doesn't mean that the keyword that you put in all of these places needs to be the exact same, but they should all be relatively the same keyword so that Pinterest knows you're not just spamming random blog posts onto the platform. The point of doing this is Pinterest wants to ensure that the content that they are providing is the content that you say that you are providing. So for example, example, if your blog post is about personal development, but the pin that you put out is about a crockpot recipe, those obviously do not align, and Pinterest doesn't want to be leading their viewers to false information or wrong information. You also want to pin that to relevant boards as well. You're not going to pin a personal development pin to a fall colors board. That really doesn't make much sense. And then the question becomes, how are you going to keep track of all these keywords? Because chances are you're not going to pin that blog post once and then never think about it again. You could either look up the keywords every single time you go to pin that post, you could try to remember it, or you can actually write them down so that you can use them easier later. One of the things that I did for my Pinterest account was I created a Google Sheets doc that has every single one of my blog posts in it with the links, the boards that I want to pin them to, a slot for the description, and it also has all the keywords that I can use in the description. This makes it super easy when I'm going to pin each week because I can just pull from that doc for every single one of my blog posts, no matter what I'm pinning, and I'll be able to get the pins out super quickly because everything is in one place. Now, I've showed this off of my channel here before, but if you've never seen it, this is what it looks like. And if you want to get a more in-depth look into this, or if you want to check out this sheet for yourself, I actually have it available in my shop, which I will link down below in the description. Now, mine looks a little bit different because I have YouTube videos in there as well, and I've customized it to fit my specific needs, but that means you can customize it as well, changing the colors, adding new sheets, new slots, whatever you need. It's fully customizable and really easy to use. And if you would like to check out the blog post version of this video, I will leave that below in the description as well. And while you're down there, make sure to like the video and subscribe to my channel if you're new here because it really helps me out. And I'll see you next week. Bye!